High-grade Clanche. Hey, what's up again, everybody? Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, GundamReviews.net. I wonder if that's going to page me in the middle of the review again. But it's time to take a look at something that this website, channel, and the whole world seems to need more of. I'm talking about more Clanche in the form of the high-grade 1/144th 3rd generation Grunt. 2012 release. The price you can see bottom right there, 1,300 yen from Bandai with some pretty cool cover art and a very insectoid looking head there. And you can see in the high-grade Gundam Age line that this is number 28. This line has become pretty long, although not quite as long and filled in as some would like. Now, Gundam Age has handled the gems of this series, especially considering that it was a very long, almost but not quite 100-year war. The grunt suits for the Earth Federation have been developed pretty well, where you had the Genoese in the old days, and they basically were able to take that and take the Age 1 and turn that into the Adele. We did see the Genoese too, but following along in the pink color scheme here, that seems to be setting the mark for at least the main grunt, it would seem. You've got the Clanche, which is going to take the best of the Age 2 in the fact that, like the Zeta Gundam, it's going to be the Transformer after the RX-78-2 Granddaddy-inspired grunts that came before it, but we're going to keep the same color scheme and just add a whole bunch of new technology and a lot more aesthetic appeal. Lots of color schemes were used by the grunts in the series, but you can see that we're going to have that blue in the back there in the form of Cerex. A Clanche Custom is going to be coming out in December, which is definitely going to answer the need for more Clanche, especially considering the way that he ended up the series. And as a representative group leader, can't wait to have him in front of these ones. Box tour, still love that Age box design every time where they're going to show you a nice layout of the plates there. You can see primarily pink, it looks like all plate there. Pink there for the A plate, and you're going to have some white, lots of gray for the inner frame, and a very important, nice, small, clear blue part that you wonder if was also going to be intended to be used for an AG, which never came out, only a high-grade release as the AG line definitely slowed down. But as you take a look at the mobile suit design here, the Clanche, for me, has to be one of the coolest looking. We've seen in the Universal Century all of the advances that the Zaku's and the Gems made over the years, and I think they did a very good job from the Genoese to the Adele to the Clanche here. Love the shield there, very small and Age 2-ish to go along with the Dodds rifle. Interesting legs, you still don't see the knees, which is again similar to the Genoese, but it's that insectoid head and the cool looking shoulders that are only going to get better on Cerex in the future. In terms of the other gimmicks there, you can see that under this, if you want to paint it up, you can put a cool looking H face on there. Looks a little bit Hado-ish there. And we've also got the clear blue part, so you wonder how much that's going to cover up. It is going to come with landing gear because this is a transforming suit in the vein of the H2 and the Zeta Gundam. And you can see that it's going to look all right there. Of course, Bandai's going to choose the best pose to hide most of the ugly parts there. And you have to laugh a little bit about landing gear in space, but definitely cool if it's going to land anywhere else. We've seen this gimmick quite a bit where they're going to be giving you a base included. You don't need to buy an action base too. Works great in MS and when it's in its transform mode. And you can see here that you can put the extra manipulators underneath. You can also take the Dodds rifle and put it on the back. It looks like it's got a flip-up mechanism. We'll have to see how that's going to work there. And some pretty cool poses. Again, this is just the regular variation. When it's got even bigger thrusters, it's going to get even cooler. Great looking line art there, and some information about the mobile suit and its development, and we can see some pretty cool CG there, as we also get to see a little hint of Cerex, and you can see that completely unpainted by a pro, that you're going to see white parts all over the place. Without the lining, it does look a little bit naked there on the lower body. You do see a little bit of gray there in the knee, but only if you do a full bend, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of gray incorporated up into the shoulders and thrusters, hopefully without seals. Can't wait to see how it's going to work in practice. Inside the box we go to see what the Clanche is going to reveal. In terms of pink beam sabers, white, lots of seals in there, including some green, gray there, including an action base, that clear blue parts a la the AGs. We've got some pink there, more gray for the inner frame to go along with the polycaps, and the manual featuring the 3 pilots. Taking a look at the plates and keeping in mind that we already know that we're going to be getting the Clanche Custom in December, you can take a look at this and see that there's going to be a lot of commonalities over here. With that nameplate, this is just going to say high-grade 1/144th Clanche and Sunrise, of course. You can see that the common parts are going to be here for the middle parts of the chest, and you've got some pretty cool-looking thrusters over there, even though we've got some simple shoulders. The custom thrusters are going to be different from this. You can see where these are going to detach to go along with the all-important insectoid round head there. That's going to look very waspish. The B plate again is just going to say Clanche there, and you can see some pretty cool looking parts, including something worthy of the 3rd generation, just in terms of the general smoothness. If you go back to something like the G-Axis, that was a very blocky mobile suit, whereas with this one you can see that it's starting to get streamlined. which is very fitting of a successor to the Age 2. You can see some pretty cool looking parts there in terms of the shield and everything else. You can also see that these parts here are going to be able to be detachable. So again, that waspish insectoid head is going to be replaced probably up there with the Clanche custom, along with those white parts. C-plate Clanche again, and there's some cool looking parts here that are going to be used in the hips, very similar to what we've been seeing on most of the high-grade Age kits. Some interesting parts though, and lots of intricacies in here if you can make that out. On this inner frame, you can see again the insides of the shield, to go along with the fact that we're going to be getting an action base there. 3 parts, you'll notice that it's going to have 2 attachment points up at the top, not one sticking out, which we've already been seeing on the Age 3. And some pretty cool landing gear over there. You can see 3 of them in different varieties, I suppose. Well, 2 and 1. With the D-plate here, almost wrapping it up, you've got 5 manipulators there, which is always a good thing to see. You've got 2 weapon holders, 2 fists, and a dynamic 2-finger pose. That's the kind of thing that you could use on quite a few of the Age kits, I think, and really spice up some of the poses. Also parts that are going to be used in the weapons and on the Age 2's even trimmed down tinier shield. Well, I guess it's about the same size as the Age 2. But if you look at the attachment points and the nameplates, you can imagine that the custom is going to have its thruster gray parts over there, which are going to be a little bit different from what we're seeing here with the regular Clanche. But the coolest part has to go on this plate, CL5. You have to wonder if this was going to be coming out in another grade. But as it is, it's looking very cool there, very forward looking. You can see that it's got some nice rounded edges to it, and that it's very dynamic, and it's going to be different from what we'll be seeing, I'd imagine, on the CL whatever number we get for Sarek. With PC001 with the extra 15 on there to go along with SB9, the flat variety of beam sabers. Along with the sticker sheet, it's never this encouraging to see this many gray parts there, but it should be adding something. Would be nice since we've got 2 plates of gray to think that they would have done it in plastic instead of seals. But the thing that's really exciting though is just to see this part that's going to go on the inside of the Iron Man Iron Mask there. And it's going to have some cool looking green parts there. You've got a part to go down below and a part to go up above, so you're not going to have to bend it over that unique looking face there. Hopefully that's going to stay on there very well. And of course it's all going to be covered up with the blue part, so it remains to be seen just how much it's going to be visible. Still much better to have it, and if you were to display it open masked, I think it's going to add a unique touch to go along with those camera lenses there. Nice looking cover art again there, and the focus on the pilots. You can see Shanalua there, Derek and Jonathan. Definitely interesting fates for all 3 of those, and it's sort of cool. We haven't seen 3 of the same mobile suit in the team in the earlier generations. We only had Largan and Wolf and Flit back in the first one. They grew definitely with the Age 2 Diva, but we had different mobile suits here. Here, if you wanted to recreate all 3, it would certainly be a lot of fun. AGs, though, would make it a lot less time-consuming and a lot cheaper. As you go inside, some great-looking color splash pages there. You wonder why the focus is on him, although we already saw the main pilots on the front. The flight mode is looking pretty cool. You can see a different angle from what they showed on the side of the box. The Dodge rifle is going to somewhat show the head, but again, it's going to look pretty cool there just because it's got that very unique faceplate on there, and I again just love that whole aesthetic to this kit. And why not talk about some of the bad guys? You've got a grunt here in the form of the Danazine. We've also got the Zamdrag. Unfortunate that hasn't got a model release, and the Giraga is definitely one of the most fun kits that I think we've ever seen. Some of the same features there, including showing it off on the action base, the shield. You can take the beam sabers, and unlike the Age FX, you can plug them into the forearms. And there it is, the Clanche custom, different thrusters, and you're going to see different legs and a whole bunch of variations, as you saw on the plates, and when you get to see it all put together. The inside is going to show off the relatively simple plate design, and you remember that these are just going to be replaced on the custom, so Bandai only had to whip up 4 plates for that, plus that custom faceplate. Again, it would have been nice to see an AG for it, but after you put together the chest, the head, the arms, the upper body, and the lower body, you can see that you already have it all assembled. Put the weapon and shield together. Looks like they're both going to have little fold mechanisms to get them on. Also shows how to put it on the back. Before we get to see some information on the transformation, they didn't go for a 5-page manual there, so it's definitely not that complex. You can flip around the cuffs there. It shows how you can also put the shield into the back. And for the transformation, you're going to be swinging the arms around, putting them back, propping them out, kicking the legs up, it looks like there. Then you're going to attach the Dodge rifle with that nice attachment point that hopefully is going to work in both forms. Put it up on an action base and swap out 3 white parts and pop on some landing gear. And it's great that you get to put those on the landing gear before you reattach those. Sort of makes it seem like they're just going to be opening up, and it's a lot better than putting them into a Ziploc. So a fun unbox, which is aided by the fact that it's got good stickers. It's interesting to see what changes we're going to be getting for the custom coming up, and overall that pink color scheme has definitely grown on me over the third generation, or the 3 generations, combined with the great design and hopefully a cool transformation. Although it seems simple, sometimes those are the best. So stick around to check out the parts and the MS and transformation, and as always, let me know what you think of the suit, of the pilots, and this video itself. Anyway, everybody, needs more Clanche? And yeah, well, it's here. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hey, did you hear my new theme song?